I've had more stress nights than the peaceful ones, but that'll always be the case until there's decent sums. But the grind don't stop until the reaper comes. Too much money on my mind, emotionally numb. Too many fantasies of fortunes filling up my fists. That green paper has an aura that I can't resist. Working hard to reach the top, just over the cliff. I'm talking house up on the hill where I can blow my piff. I'm talking bags with so much cheddar they don't even zip. The things I need to catch me if I ever slip. Closest neighbors not neighbors, they miles away. That's the dream that keeps me working, I don't even play. Unless somehow that play equates to dividends. Till then I'm floating on the water till that river ends.
Many people do covers and throw it on YouTube. Look how Jacquees' fucking career started.
Jacquees.
And can we talk about, please, why the fuck are people still doing things with Birdman? When I saw that came out, I was like, okay, think about it, Jacquees. I was like, Wheezy, Birdman Jr., as it were. The apparent love of Birdman's life. Made out on stage and everything.
Yeah, they did make out.
And things ended horribly. Birdman fucked Wayne over in many ways. And now you want to go and work with this guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's got enough power in the industry where it still makes sense to be amicable with the man.
I don't see how, because nobody looks at this dude like, hey, I want to work with you. Cash money.
Taking over for the 99 2000. Cause you want to with some bad hair.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but that's just me. After I left here last week, I was looking at some story online. Basically, for Coming to America 2, they asked Rick Ross to use his mansion.
Yeah, dude. If you have the biggest house, or if you have a house, I saw that. If you have a house that they were like, we want to make the sequel of a movie about a prince from Africa who's got the biggest house in Africa.
Right.
But we want to use your house. You got to feel good about yourself.
I guess
I've kind of made it a little bit.
I guess when you give yourself the moniker Big Boss, Ricky Ross, you got to have a house that matches.
Who has the best rap names, like the nicknames in hip-hop?
You see the front of this?
That's his house?
That's the front of his house.
That's Rick Ross's house?
Rose!
If Adam knew how to edit, we would throw a picture of this. This looks like...
Fuck you, first of all. I'm not going to let that get past. Arthur, what the fuck wrong with you?
Listen, don't be making fun of my thing, man, here. This is a cool little outfit.
You just told me I don't know how to edit, and I don't know if you know this.
Well, do you know how to put... Do you know how to throw a picture in the middle? Exactly.
Neither here nor there. That doesn't mean I don't know how to edit. That just means I'm not very advanced in my editing ability.
Well, if we're 55 episodes in... Either way, that's beside the point. What is this?
It's fucking mansion,
If you guys could see this, again, I won't repeat it, but if you could see this is a big house.
You know what I noticed is, like, nobody really has any problem in the rap game referring to Rick Ross as boss.
That's a big fucking house. I mean, anybody who's got a house like that is at least a boss, right? You can't, like, I don't think you get to this house, this stature of home without having the paper to back it up.
The boss's right-hand man or something.
I mean, but he's done a lot of, like, investing in, like, franchises and shit like that. So his money...
kookaroos. I'm going to be all right.
How many kookaroos you got?
You know how expensive Jordans are for 6 black kids?
Yo, fucking Puff is hilarious. Puff is hilarious in, like, little, like not cameos, because that was more than a cameo. But, yo, Puff is hilarious.
Yeah, he does some funny shit.
This house is crazy. So I guess I would have asked him, too.
But that's... I mean... Of all the people, of all the stars,
I would have expected more cars. I know he's got more cars, but I would have expected more cars.
Listen, when you look at the house like that, he probably has like an underground layer with like a parking lot.
Oh, so, that would be ideal. Oh, but you didn't. I wanted to. I was asking the question, but you interrupted me with that fucking palace of a home. That's okay. At what point does that not become
a house than the White House?
At what point is that no longer a mansion? Like, what is that? An estate?
It's a fucking complex.
When you have when you have your first initial. Like, outside of your home. Like, what is that? Like, the estate, essentially, right? You can't call that a mansion.
I mean, but no, because technically you can just consider a single family your estate. Like, that's... When people have estate sales.
No, you can't. Listen.
You can.
No. I get it. But my idea of an estate is not like my crib. Okay?
I would call it a compound.
Oh, that's probably a better way to put it. Yeah, that's fucked up. Dude's got a compound.
That's a house you put a moat around.
Yeah. Oh, man. Rick Ross has to have a moat.
I would put a moat.
and like probably sharks in that bitch.
I was in the backyard.
Everything
yesterday.
you said you can do, you would want to do that I said was completely impossible for you is not impossible for the likes of Rose.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I was getting to. Who has the best rap nicknames?
I mean,
you got to say probably Jay. Jay's probably got some of the best. Hove. Why can't I think of the other ones now? Jigga, which I'm not a big fan of Jigga, but
I don't feel comfortable calling him Jigga. I mean,
no, I didn't even beyond that. Like, I don't care. Like, I just feel like
something you can call yourself, but like, what do you call him? William H.
Yeah, I think Hove is probably my favorite for him. But man, Rick Ross has got some cool ones too, man.
Weezy got mad nicknames.
Yeah, I think it's just it's kind of
Weezy.
You do sound a little wheezy, sir, but you know, little Louisiana
name. You know what I mean?
Are we gonna introduce ourselves? I don't think we've been talking about.
I was just gonna keep talking, but
we weren't talking about nothing. I mean, listen, that is an impressive house.
It's impressive.
A compound,
right?
Okay, what is the house without the? What if you had the house and just stuffed it in the middle of like a regular ass property to fuck with people?
Oh, that's what I was gonna say real fast, right? I was in the backyard yesterday at the fire by myself, just chilling, reflecting on life or whatever. And the fire pit is
what have I done?
Well, I was really just trying to figure out how to make more money. But anyway, I was like 15 feet away from the house, right? That's where the fire pit's set up. And I was looking and I was like, man, you know what the problem is? Is I can see the whole house from here. I was like, being this close, I'm trying to take up a whole block. I want to compound myself. Like,
so I mean, I get it. So like, you're talking about like,
I was like, yo.
like I equate it to like a movie screen, like in a movie theater. Like if you're sitting that close, you shouldn't be able to just see like all of what you're looking at.
That's kind of it. And like, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from the house. It's a nice house, big house. It's great. But I was like, this is what a 9-to-5 will get you. I'm trying to like not have a 9-to-5 and have a much bigger house.
I mean, agreed. And I think that comes, with the work. Like we've talked about it plenty of times. Like obviously, the numbers and everything. Like in this world that we live in, it's very driven by numbers. So like, it's validation, even though you try not to let it be. So like, the numbers mean something, right? But you don't want to go by the numbers. You want to go by what you feel like you want to make, the content you want to provide.
No.
And,
listen,
and
let me make sure I make this clear because,
and I don't mean specifically to this, but because we're doing the podcast.
Less. If we had 118 subscribers for the next 35 years,
just watch it.
But
please.
I had the house and the money to not have to worry about it, I don't give a fuck. I'll talk to you 118 people for the next 30 years.
I'm with you.
This doesn't necessarily need to be the source of income. It'd be great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad about any extra sources of income, but that's not the goal. My goal is to just, in 30 other ways, I'm trying to have revenue streams.
You heard? On that note, though, we should definitely introduce ourselves.
As the host, sometimes I think maybe I get to decide.
I know, but I keep introducing. I said, should we do it? And then I interrupted with.
And then you interrupted.
Dude, the house is fucking big.
That's the problem. Anyway, listen. Welcome back, everybody, to the Kiona and Kasson podcast. My name is Adam. I am your host. Here with my brother Arthur.
Fuck you.
And Stax is taking a nap as usual to the left of me.
Dick, I'm not Arthur.
This is episode number 55, double nickel as it were. I looked through my shoe collection. I was like, "Fuck, I don't even have."
Well, who was alive when that double nickel game MJ had? Where he played the first. He played like the first half or the first quarter, and the original like Air Jordans and shit. And they were too small, so he had to switch them.
Well, because you know what? Hopefully, a lot of the people who were watching, because he was 40, he came back 45.
That was like
point.
96.
Right, that was when he came back from his first retirement.
That was a long. Listen, 96 was.
You may not remember it, but
how
at
long
least
ago
you
was
might 96?
Be alive. 23 years ago. So you got to be at least 23, and that means that you were able to comprehend what you were watching. It's not like when you say I'm an 80s baby, but you were only alive in the 80s for 2 weeks. You don't remember nothing about the 80s.
Remember what we talked about?
I don't remember shit about the 80s.
What we talked about last week. I don't hang out with people who are below the age of 21 for the most part. So, with that said, I'm assuming a lot of our viewers, if they've subscribed because of who we are, because I don't think there's many people who don't know us who are subscribed. But I'm expecting everybody to at least be old enough to at least have been born by the time that game played, you know?
Yeah, I mean...
If you don't understand what we're talking about, we say the double nickel game.
Yes.
Playing in the 45, scoring 55. Go back and educate yourself.
Yeah.
Because...
That was nice.
You LeBron stands out there don't understand. You know?
No, it was a whole different time. But I don't want to go into sports because we'll just talk about sports all day. Well, like okay, if we go into that argument, we won't talk about anything else today.
This is true.
Not that anything else is on the agenda.
There's two things about the NBA that are of any interest of me actually referring to them. But number one, they released a full schedule for the next season. I don't expect the Bulls to do very much. I'm gonna try to make an effort to watch more games. The Bulls are
pathological liars. Like, not the Bulls organization. Like, the only thing I like out of the Bulls organization, like, I have nothing against the players. The players are who what they've put together, right? But like, man, the upper brass, like,
now that they have,
I even hate putting Gar Foreman and Paxson in the term upper brass. But that's what they are.
Now that recreational weed has been legalized, the next thing that I am like, I don't think it's ever going to happen is the firing and or just general departure of Gar Pax.
Oh man,
that's the one thing that I'm like, I don't think it's ever
every year we're getting younger, we're getting faster. They use so many adjectives to describe something.
One time has it actually been true, and you got lucky as fuck. And now everybody is still
but Zach LaVine is serviceable. Like, we have some nice pieces, but we don't have the
we don't
have the leadership to put more in place. Like, we have missing pieces that their job is to then go out, find the best piece for what they can afford or what we can offer, right? And then put somebody in that piece to make sure that, okay, we got Zach LaVine, honestly I can't even remember who we have at this point, and that's bad as a Bulls fan. But I agree. Listen. In full disclosure, I've been boycotting a lot of the Bulls for the last few years.
One of the biggest problems with the Bulls, right, and one of the biggest, there's many, is they'll get these mediocre, like, middle-tier players, and they'll pay them out the ass.
Towards the end of their career.
And we don't have fucking money to, like, offer a big free agent. And it's always been like that.
The Bulls are really terrible. They always feel like they have a strategy that is. They always have the same strategy, but they always go into something new, thinking they have the strategy that applies to that.
So one day I was bad at money management.
Yeah,
but what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
It's that Reinsdorf doesn't really care about the Bulls. His pride enjoys the Sox.
Yo, when he said I would trade all 6 Bulls championships for one Sox championship, I wanted to come and kick him in the balls. You ever been Rochambeau'd before?
I'll Rochambeau you for it.
Exactly. But yeah, and then I don't really care to talk about that anymore because it's depressing. But there's one other story
out the NBA.
Yeah, and I forgot what the hell it was about specifically. I know it was about. I just forgot the player. Oh, it's Sebastian Telfair.
Yeah.
So he got sentenced to 3.5 years on gun possession charges.
Yeah.
And now the story, and I'm not going to lie, the only reason why I know the story is because I was listening to Joe Budden's podcast and he's talking about it.
Yeah.
But essentially he was moving and trying to just relocate his weapons, and his ex or whatever was just feeling extra salty that day for some reason and snitched on him that he had guns in his car, even though all he was doing was moving them. And so now he's facing 3 years because of that.
Not facing. I think they gave him, right? He's going to serve.
Yeah, I guess
that's fucked up. Yeah. But, man, the laws in this that are in place, and, man, you got to watch who the company you keep or have kept, because people will turn on you, man, regardless. It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I think when a love is, like, scorned, R. Kelly said it, but who wants to talk about that? But that's the problem with R. Kelly songs. Like, there's so many applicable songs. You're like, when a woman's fed up, that you're right, man. There ain't
all I'm going to say about
you
this
can do
R. Kelly
about
situation is I still don't believe that he's unable to read and write. I just don't.
My mama taught me a long time ago.
Gave who some damn money?
Yeah, and also, like, he did have some comical songs as well. Like, that's the problem with R. Kelly music. Like, listen, dude, we have to, like, wipe it from the face of the earth in order for us.
Catchy as fuck.
Because
and it's hilarious,
dude. It's almost. I haven't been to a banquet or a dance or a wedding or a party where they at least in the last
30 years.
Fuck you, man. I couldn't even say it. But no, it's been some time, right? The last time I think I was at my company Christmas party, and they were still playing R. Kelly, right? Mm-hmm. But this was pre all these new allegations, and
which, I mean,
the new sparking of the
and that's what it is. It's a respark because these have been around.
And that's fine. But like, I haven't been to one yet, so I'm going to a wedding in a couple weeks, and I'm really, I don't know. Are they going to play R. Kelly? Can you play R. Kelly at a wedding now? Like, knowing what the context of which most of those songs are probably sung?
Yeah, I mean,
did you get your passport?
I'm one of the first people to tell
you. Do you have your shots?
I'm one of the first people to tell you I'll try to separate the personal life from the music, right?
This one's hard.
It's hard. Like, okay, it was even hard with Michael Jackson but he cannot defend himself, and he was also, what do you call it? Fucking, he wasn't convicted. Because I can't think of the right verbiage right now.
Yeah, but that's because
he made Thriller, man.
He made Thriller. No, I think, but the thing with Mike is that they investigated for so long and found nothing. R. Kelly, they just, every time you look under a blanket, they probably find a new, like, I don't even want to go keep continuing with this joke.
It's pretty funny because you said Michael Jackson and then you said blanket and anyway, but yeah, his child's name is Blanket.
You can't. Yeah, that's a hilarious fucking name for a bit. Like, how do you go through life later on named Blanket? But like Blanket Jackson? Yeah, that's me. Your name's Blanket? Oh, you're going to have a hard time in this school, motherfucker.
Probably not. He's Michael Jackson.
Yeah, honestly, what you also got to think about is, like, they ain't going to regular schools. It's not like Blanket Jackson's in fucking CPS just chilling.
And nowadays, people, I don't know if they think they're being creative or there's a lot of stupid names. I'm not going to lie.
Blanket's a fucked up name.
And that poor kid, he was the one who was dangled over the balcony. Right at,
they know, everybody knows him because of that. He's been the kid that, like...
Hey, you were that child who was dangled over the banister.
He was dangling a blanket over the banister.
He was shaking out his blanket.
He was super careless with blanket. If you didn't know, if you weren't in the know, you'd be like, "What's the big deal? It's just a blanket." Like, I shake my blanket over the patio all the time.
It's like
what?
And I'm not sure what the hell was going on in Michael's mind at the time. But maybe he was like, "Look, this is my baby."
They want to see the baby. They want to see my blanket.
Holy shit, it's a cat. But yeah, so. But that's that on that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how far you want to dig into R. Kelly. Because the R. Kelly jokes are just like, almost they come with such ease when you're talking about R. Kelly. Because everything he did was like, now in hindsight, like a super hilarious, like fucked up, but like hilarious, like.
And this year has
the context is fucked up, and you're like, R. Kelly.
This year has been
you weren't
one of
talking
the most
about a woman,
accidentally funny years for Michael Jackson, you know? I don't even know how to hog tie people like that. Come on.
You mean Michael Jackson? You mean
R. Kelly? My bad.
Yeah, no, but the thing about his sound bites, they're super sad and serious moments, but you could just tell how almost unintelligent, like, it's like, dude, I don't get R. Kelly's, like, his ability to be as clueless as he is pretty fucked up.
You know how sometimes
ignorance is bliss, I guess.
As a defense mechanism, you know how some people try to, like, convince themselves so much that they believe their story, even if it's a lie?
I think he just believes, like, I don't know.
I think he just lied to himself. He's like, listen, Robert, you
Rob,
didn't do this. You're innocent.
People like me. What's that from? Like,
Half Baked. I'm a scholar.
People like me. I'm somebody.
Listen, I came out a little too strong with that whole ice cream thing.
Squirrel man's not gonna be around to protect you all the time. I'm gonna want some of your cocktail.
Motherfucker said ice cream, B. I'm sure people are getting tired of us quoting movies, but you know what?
Dude, fuck that. Quoting movies is hilarious. There's a reason why there's so many cult classics. Like, there's a reason Adam Sandler movies are what they are, considered what they are. Because if you grew up in our time, you know an Adam Sandler quote from Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison.
You probably know the whole movie. Like, between those two movies, what's called Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. I've probably seen them both like 1,000 times each.
Oh, dude, I don't know about 1,000, but like, I'm
not even.
The exaggeration is high, but like, I'm sure we've
so.
seen it many, many times.
I don't think it's high.
You think you've seen that movie 1,000 times?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's not for exaggeration purposes.
I don't think so. No, it's not for play.
What is the movie? What movie do you think you've watched most that you can? What is? Well, I mean, that's not. Because I mean, if you think about it, I was going to ask, what movie do you think you can quote the most? But like, that's not fair because I'm sure you've watched plenty that you can quote as they're on. But like, it's because it's the same thing as like memorizing like lyrics to a rap song.
And
like, I don't know how
like how it hits your brain. You know what I mean? Like, there's some movies you can watch 1,000 times and you still like you don't know everything. There's ones that you watch like 7, 8 times. You're like,
some resonate, some do well. Like, I don't know. Like, it's crazy because like, you know, if I haven't watched it in so long, but if I were to watch Ace Ventura: Pet Detective 2, right? When Nature Calls.
Oh.
Yeah, like I can definitely probably quote it as it's going on, right? I could quote that movie completely, like as it's on, but I probably can't quote it now. Like, and that's what I was gonna get to it, like, you know, not just rap lyrics, but all song lyrics, right? Like, it's funny, you don't really realize you memorize the song if the song comes on, like you're able to go along with it and you remember it. I think maybe the melody and everything sparks back in your head.
That's true. You know what I have the hardest time with like songs sometimes is remembering which verse was first and second and third. Like, sometimes I have an issue with that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Maybe nowadays because it's just a different feeling listening to music. But back in the day, I was able to if I listened to an album so many times, you know, it'd be in your CD deck for like whatever, or your tape deck. Adam didn't have a tape deck in his car, but you know, oh wait, you did in the little Escort.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but either way, it's not like you had tapes to go in it. Anyway,
That's true, but I had the tape adapter.
yeah, whatever. But anyway, like, so think about it. Like, you ride around with a song, a CD, and so I was, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Probably a lot of you folks who are like, you know, big music heads or whatever. When I would listen to an album, right, like, I would start to know the sequencing. So, like, I'd know the song that's supposed to come on next.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where nowadays, if I hear the song, like, I'll expect the next song coming up,
Yeah, I do
even
that
if
too,
it's in a
especially-
random
And
sequence.
you know how I listen to my shit on shuffle, so I'm
Yeah.
always like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot it's on shuffle.
But like, I don't think I ever had issues with the first, third, second, third verse type shit. But like, I mean, nowadays it's a different story. Like,
mean-
you don't listen to things as repeatedly for as long as you would back in the day.
I used to know things so front to back that like I know that every ad lib. I know like
I could repeat my alphabet first, going forward and backwards. By the way, that's a fucked up. Like, who can do their alphabet in reverse?
I've tried it before. I was like, yo, maybe if
Z.
I get pulled over, I was like,
That's where I stopped.
I was like ZYXWVUTSRQ, and that's where I get lost.
Dude, I'm not even gonna start. They're gonna be like, "Can you do it backwards?" But like Z,
What kind of stupid?
Z. Dude, there's no way.
That's a real dumb ass fucking test to know if you're a drunk driver.
I would fail that test every time. It
I'm like,
doesn't
listen,
matter.
officer, I don't know how to do that sober. Like, I may be drunk right now.
Dude, most people don't know how to. Most people can't say elemento. You think you're gonna be able to do that in reverse?
Why do people struggle with that? Like,
Eminello, but like that's not even the words.
they
Like
think it's a sound. Like they don't look at it as
they call it
letters.
Eminello. Eminello, PQRSTUV. Most people can't get those things correct. So you're telling me you're gonna get them to do it reverse? Good luck, sir.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, just take me to jail. There's no fucking way I'm gonna do this.
the tests that they give you to see if you at least like. I mean, I've never been pulled over for suspicion of DUI, but walking a straight line. First of all, some people just have bad balance. Like, what if I have vertigo?
Yeah, dude.
You
Like
know?
most people, these are not
And
a
if you're
good.
pulling me
These are
over-
not a good assessment.
If you're pulling me over thinking I'm drunk, most likely it's like 12, 1 a.m., right? So
I'm
first of all,
already tired.
Like, you think I'm gonna be able to do this? Hell
You
no.
can, but you can refuse all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is not a good depiction of how I feel right now, so I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's not a good thing, but don't drink and drive, folks. Not worth
Yeah,
it.
public service announcement.
It's not worth it. But yeah, I mean, if you do, have you ever seen that? If you
On the other hand,
no, like it's. I mean, like you ever seen that video where dude's like, "I'm not taking." He was like, "I'm not fucking drunk and I wasn't fucking driving." No, I ain't taking the sobriety test. Fuck this shit.
yeah, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
It's not the same video, but just as funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Just as funny.
But
Yo, this weather is crazy. It feels like
this weather is stupid.
today it's like in the 70s, low 70s. It feels like 60 with the wind, right? Like, call me Tom Skilling. Shout out to Tom Skilling, who just made like 40-some years in the
If
fucking...
you were Tom Skilling, that would have been a half an hour to
Tom
describe
Skilling
that.
talks like this. And today, guys, we're going to have a little bit of warm weather, but later on, we might have some rain. And the reason for this is the atmosphere's weather changes with
the
the
high
barometer.
pressure system and a low pressure system meet, and they form a.
The barometer
Trifecta.
says, like, dude, you're just spitting a whole bunch of words nobody knows, and now we all think you're a genius.
That is genius.
I think Tom Skilling might be the only fucking, like, real weather person out there.
He might be the only meteorologist that's an actual meteorologist.
In Chicago, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that many of them know what they're talking about.
He's old school though, you know. I mean, dude's got to be like 70. So
He looks like he has like a little bit of a turtle
yeah,
thing going on.
yeah.
Well, these oldies talk like this.
I always,
Can you imagine him at 25
I
talking
always
like
said
this?
that he looked like a heftier version of the Six Flags guy
Oh, is he his like father?
or something. I don't know if it's father because the Six
Or is
Flags
he
guy
is he
old
is he
dude.
the Benjamin Button version of that guy?
Something like that.
It's not been that
He's
long.
just like his fat twin brother, you know.
Man, what if they had a commercial together?
Can you imagine him doing that dance? Dun, 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 dun.
Yo, why did Six Flags think that was even like a fucking like this weird creepy dude running around dancing and shit?
Like, it has nothing to do with any of the fun that you actually have when you go to Six Flags. And half the time when I'm at Six Flags, it's not even fun.
Dude, if I seen that fucking guy dancing around, I'd be so annoyed. Like, dude, get him away from me. I'm trying to eat this funnel cake. Also, funnel cake isn't as good as people make it out to be.
Funnel cake is delicious.
It's good, but it's not like, oh, I got to go there to get the funnel cake.
Well, I'm never going to spend the $60 on a ticket to go get a funnel cake that cost me
There are
$20.
people who go to Six Flags and think about funnel cake. Or anywhere. Like, we were
People are
just at
stupid.
this, like, little fest for Elmwood Park. Or, no, Edison Park. Sorry, yes, the other day. And Vivi was like, I want to get funnel cake. And I'm not a funnel cake guy, but like I was like, all right, get your funnel cake. But what she did get eventually is deep fried Oreos. You ever had a deep fried Oreo?
I have.
Deep fried Oreos are kind of good.
And this is just feeding into the fact that America has got to be the fattest country.
I'm just gonna look. I've run out of things to fry that make sense.
It's funny because Sarah.
What do we got in the cabinet? We got Oreos. Bring them shits over here.
I got home from work the other day and Sarah is.
They be all warm.
She's
and
like
shit.
at the little island in the kitchen and she's fucking chocolate dipping pretzels. And she's like, "What else could I chocolate dip?"
What the fuck was she dipping? What kind of chocolate?
Like she melted down some chocolate chips.
She had to keep doing that though, right? Because it
No, she just kept stirring it and then applying them, whatever. And I was like, I got this Snickers bar. Maybe you should chocolate dip this Snickers bar.
Were y'all high?
No. But
Like, I bet you I could dip everything, like anything edible in chocolate.
I told her, I was like, you can just look around the cabinets and be like,
Chocolate
yo,
covered
boom,
things.
boom, boom.
You could literally dip things and just set them on a plate, and now they're chocolate covered. That
Chocolate covered chocolate thing, I'm sure.
dip these fucking chocolate chips in the chocolate and see how that tastes. Like, dude, enough. Enough.
Yeah.
But no, like America has gotten fatter. And it's because of like our boredom in terms of food. Like, we can't just eat the normal things to get fat. Like, not only do we not eat hot dogs and like, burgers and wings and shit, we've created fucking hot dog contests where people. Speaking of that, did you hear about that guy that died in the taco eating contest?
Yeah, man, I was just about to say, listen, I don't feel bad for this man. And
I feel bad that a life was lost. I just don't feel bad that you did it while eating tacos like gluttonously.
Listen, he was in a taco eating contest where first place wins $5,000. I think that was what the story was.
Not even enough.
He swallowed whole tacos.
Oh, so he died because he's closed his
That's
respiratory.
why I'm telling you, 73 tacos in 10 minutes he swallowed whole. And he was only on pace for third place. I was like, bro, you fucked up in 10 different ways.
Yeah, like you know why you fucking stop up your passages. The guy that's chewing a little bit, he's actually digesting, and you're dying.
It reminds me of Family Guy when he was hanging out with all those fat guys, and he's like, "You gotta chew your food, man."
Like when Peter Griffin is telling you gotta chew your food, like you got an issue.
Yo, I mean, I don't.
Homer doesn't really chew his food. He more like swallows like a duck. Yo,
fool, that's Carl.
Those cartoons are simply about fat shaming.
Yeah, it's real funny.
It is pretty funny.
I'm sorry, but it is what
it is kind of funny. Like they're very angry fat men.
Yeah, who apparently don't chew very much.
Also, don't care that they're fat.
Right.
Like the only thing Homer Homer got kind of swole at one point, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
When he was going to the Gime. Oh,
No.
Gime.
No, that wasn't the same episode. I don't think.
Wasn't it?
No, remember he for some.
Is
reason,
that the stupid sexy Flanders episode?
No,
when they saw him on the slopes.
that was the Mandy or whatever episode.
Oh, Mandy, you came and you brought me a turkey. Man, I know a lot of that old Simpsons shit.
But
Like,
I think for some reason he was confined to the house, and they had a gym in the basement. And he was working out with that stuff.
oh. I don't remember how swole Homer looked. I just keep having visions of Stewie swole in my head. Which is a whole other episode.
And then Peter
Steroids
got
and shit.
skinny at one point, and he looked real ridiculous because his head was still. That's the fucked up thing. If you're a fat person,
You can tell that
and
you were
get
once
skinny,
fat.
Yeah, you can. Your head is still big usually.
And we're not talking John Travolta proportions because that just is a dude. I know I've talked about John Travolta's head a lot, but like he was on.
And disclaimer: we're not fat shaming right now. We're just making fun of the fact that this is hilarious. So,
Yeah, like John Travolta's got a big fat person's head, but he's not fat.
yeah, it's like Jonah Hill, right?
Who's the creepiest actor in Hollywood?
I'm inclined to say James Franco.
James Franco is a fucking weirdo, man. But like, funny.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird.
I would say John Travolta's up there, dude. So this guy,
Maybe Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage is a fucking basket case.
Yeah, he's fucking nuts.
He does weird things. Like he said he's bought castles. Like he's looking for like. He's on a quest for some shit that doesn't really exist. So I think you put Nicolas Cage in a whole nother category of like.
He's
like,
constantly looking for treasure. I think he really looks for treasure.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. Like, what was that movie? National Treasure or whatever it was. Yeah. Like that movie is like completely still in his head. I think he's never gotten out of character.
Maybe that's how I get the compound I'm looking for. Just start doing some treasure hunting.
Looking for National Treasure? No, I think that's how you go crazy and we never see you again.
It's possible. You never know. All I heard was there was like some rumors of Yellowstone having some treasure there from some guy.
Yeah, you go fucking stomp around the Bears territory. You tell me how that looks.
I don't even give a fuck. Actually, on that same note, I was watching.
But I do want to say it's still John Travolta. Listen, this guy was in these movies. Okay, first he was like a young Italian guy, right, who doesn't look Italian anymore, right? He was in like what was he in Taxi, right? That old show.
Yeah.
Right? Then he was in like Saturday Night Fever and Grease and this weird fucking thing.
And he was like a super greaser.
And then this dude learned how to fly planes. So he flies planes, right? I think he's a Scientologist, right?
I'm sure.
Also, I think he and now he's just like a badass in movies with a big fucking head.
Yeah.
It's funny as he's acted, his head has gotten bigger.
I can see it.
I can see it too. It's fucking massive.
Yeah. It's hard to miss.
All right, my bad. Yeah, John Travolta is probably the weirdest person in Hollywood to me.
Oh yeah. So you were talking about bear territory in Yellowstone. I was watching I Am Prey.
That's where they go.
Or I Was Prey the other day. Right?
Wait, I Am Prey?
I Was Prey?
You mean Prey like Prey?
Like Prey like
I was Prey.
Trying to come and kill you.
I am Prey.
And there was some dude who he lived in like Oregon, I think, and he was doing his little hunting thing, and he's strolling around hiking and shit. And I think like part of his job was like some kind of park ranger type of thing.
That's another thing. John Travolta's a weird fucking dancer. Like, like come on, dude. Like,
he looks too big and sloppy to be able to do those things.
He looks real weird doing things like that. And in hindsight, again, another hindsight thing of this episode is like, dude, John Travolta's a fucking weirdo. Period. I listen. He makes probably good movies still, kind of.
No.
Yeah. But either way, his head's big. Anyway, continue.
Well, yeah, so he's like roaming through some fucking like trail in the middle of the woods, and he sees two bear cubs like off in the distance, and he's like, "Oh, cool! Like they're way down there. Nothing gonna, whatever."
Like how far in the distance?
Like, probably a good 150, 200 yards away.
Dude, fuck that. That's not the distance. That's in the fucking. That's over yonder. I'm not.
I hear you, but
I'm not fucking with that.
Mind you, he lives there, and what he does is
see, if I don't, that's a whole different story. If I live there, I'm okay. That I know where I am. But if I'm just walking and they're like fucking 400 yards, like, oh, that's close.
Yes, but they're bear cubs, and he looked around and didn't see the mother
where
anywhere.
Where the cubs are at, the mother's gonna be.
That's what you always gotta look for, right?
Yeah, fuck.
So he continues on his stroll, and he's like, now mind you, a bear can reach speeds of 40 miles per hour, right?
And they can smell you from so far.
Yeah. So he's like, I have my pistol out, and at least he was smart enough to bring a gun. I'm fucking strapped up.
Dude, we've had this conversation. These people that go out in the wild without fucking pistols and knives and shit, like matches and everything.
He was smart enough to also bring bear spray, right? So first of all, I was like, what the fuck is bear spray? I have no idea. And then apparently it works somewhat like a slow reacting pepper spray where like kind of
slow reacting?
Yeah.
That's not good.
I'll get to that part.
So I thought, what if bear spray was like you just spray it on you, smell like a bear?
It smells like Bigfoot's dick. So he's strolling along.
He's a bear over there. We're good.
He's strolling along. And he said,
doesn't look like a typical bear.
He hears some rustling inside, right? And he's like, I don't know if it's like a tree getting knocked down or some shit. And I was like, fucking bear. So
right,
he looks to the side.
Dude, there's two cubs over there. Do some deductive reasoning. There's fucking bear right there.
So he sees this fucking mama bear running at him. And he's like, still probably like 40 yards away. But mind you, it's moving fast as fuck. So he pulled out his bear spray and he's like spraying it. And he's like, all of a sudden, like there's a big orange cloud of fucking bear spray. And he gets knocked down, and he's like, so the fucking bear caught his ass, right? And he's like, I'm trying to, like, get in a position, bald face down, so that I can.
You gotta like play dead, or
right?
He should have sprayed the bear spray on himself. I'm telling you, the bear would have got up. Oh, this is a bear.
Well, I don't think it really matters because you got to really just kind of get into its senses and shit. But so anyway, this bear's like,
do bears eat other bears?
I've seen them fight, like in other TV shows.
Are they carnivorous?
I have no idea. Anyway, so this bear's like, having its way with them, fucking smacking him around, biting him and shit. And like finally, I guess 30 seconds in, the bear spray starts to affect him, right? So he's like, I heard all of a sudden like some coughing and like you hear the bear like run off, and he's like, whew, that bear's gone. Like I gotta try to find a way to get the fuck out of here. And like most of his attacks were on the upper torso and shit, so his legs are still.
Is he
fine.
bleeding
He's
and shit?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like dying?
No, not that bad yet.
No, not that.
So he starts getting up and walking away, and all
The
of a
bear's
sudden
like, I'm not finished
all
with
of
you.
a sudden he gets tackled again. I was like, God damn, this bear is not trying to like let up at all. So he's like, I'm back again, trying to get in this position where I'm like,
why didn't he shoot it in the
tucked into a
fucking
ball.
face?
He said, like by the time the bear tackled him, it was too late.
I'd have shot that bear in his back. The bear back.
When he got smacked away,
Bear back.
when he got smacked the second time, the fucking gun flew away from his
Oh,
holster.
this dude is not
So I was like,
prepared.
that's fucked up. So the bear's like, still treating him and shit, like biting him on the back, and like his claw went up beside his head, and like his scalp was like fucking open and shit. So he's like getting beaten to shit. The bear eventually at some point like knocked him over onto his back, and he was like, nope. He tried to like cover himself back up again. I was like, the fact that this guy remained conscious this whole time is nothing short of amazing. So well, yeah, it sucks too, but he could have died otherwise. So
Dude, I told you spray the bear spray on yourself, or you don't go buy bears. Like, there's no other way around it.
what's really fucked up about the story is dude's truck was parked 3 miles away from where he was walking, right? So
Why didn't he just drive there?
So this continues, and like finally the bear like he stops getting attacked, and the bear's gone, or he stops hearing the bear anyway, so he's not sure if it's gone or not. And he's like, if I get up and look, it's gonna attack me again if he's still here. If I don't, it might come back and make sure that like I'm still not a threat or whatever. At some point, finally, like maybe 20, 30 seconds later, he's like, I'm still not getting hit. He got up, and he's like, my legs are still good, but I'm fucked up. He's like, but my legs are still good. So he's like, I started trying to fucking go. And finally, he eventually did make it back to his car, and he was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm not close to a hospital. What if I like die in the car on the way? So he made a video, like explaining to his people what happened, just in case he didn't make it out of it. And apparently, like that video went viral. And,
He
like,
died?
No, he lived. He lived. He said he had maybe like 4 months of recovery time and shit. But like,
Holy shit.
I was like, yo, you survived a bear attack better than Leonardo DiCaprio did.
I didn't watch that movie, dude.
All I saw was the bear attack part in that movie. That's all.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it good?
He got fucked up.
I mean, I know.
Looked
See,
like
that's
somebody
the thing
fucked you
about
up with
people
a
who
coffee
test the
pot.
limits of things. Like, yeah, dude, the bear cubs are fucking far, but that doesn't mean the bear mother's not just chilling there like, oh, that's the trap. I'm going to eat this fool.
It always makes me laugh, like when they have those stories about people who raised bears and they're inhabitants with them and shit, and then they're like, oh yeah, it's really cute, and then like
they
2
eat
years
them?
later they're like, oh, then the bear killed this person, and they're all shocked.
Dude.
Like, motherfucker, it's a bear.
What are those two weird motherfuckers that used to perform in Vegas with the tiger?
Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, like, dude, of course he's going to eat your face if you put it there. That tiger had a bad day. Like, no, I don't like you.
They fucked that up. I saw an interview about that too, and they were talking about like they missed their cues and they weren't like being really attentive to the bear or to the tiger, and the tiger were just like, nope, and fucking mauled them.
So what basically proves is that tiger didn't give a shit about them.
Well, they didn't give a shit about the tiger, essentially. Like, they didn't put the proper training and effort and everything into it.
Really?
And
They just did it for years?
Well, I guess at first they did, and I don't know, I guess they got lazy with it. And they weren't paying attention to the
Dude,
choreographed shit.
we've
right?
spoken about how humans are like the bitches of the world. Like, there's little things that can kill us.
We're
and
really like the lowest.
also,
on the food
when
chain,
you put yourself in position to put your to get bitten by a fucking tiger's fucking, of course it's gonna happen. That guy is like, yo, this is not my family, and the first chance I get, I'm eating his face off.
we're much lower on the food chain than we like to believe.
Only reason we're not is because we think we have like our cognitive mind or whatever, but like we don't even really understand what animals think for the most part. So like you don't know if they're really just like, yo, these people, once we get the chance, we are eating all of them.
The only reason we have a leg up is because we are
We can
Batman
shoot
to
guns
the rest
and
of
shit.
the species in the world.
Hell yeah! Like, where'd you get that from?
That's not fair.
Like, they're like, oh, I'm gonna eat the shit out of this guy, and if you're just sitting there by yourself, chances are you're not gonna get away. But if you got a gun and that the animal is just like, ha ha, and then you just shoot them, that's a surprise to them, dude.
Yeah, for sure. They're like, oh shit. Where does this come
What
from?
the fuck was that?
It's a cheat code.
Yo, if animals get guns, we're fucked.
Like, fuck evolution.
If animals learn how to like somehow end up with a thumb, oh, dude, we're done.
Hey,
Don't let raccoons and shit start firing little pistols at us.
all I'm going to tell you is don't ever watch that show, I Was Prey, if you ever want to be like an explorative person. You'll never want to go in the ocean. You'll never want to go in the woods. You'll never want to do fucking anything.
Every
that involves
ecosystem is terrible.
like, there was that
Not terrible. It's beautiful, but it's terrible if you go in there by yourself.
On that same episode, there was this lady who was like swimming in a coral reef with her husband, right? And they brought them out, like, obviously you're still in the ocean, but they know these little sections. Typically, sharks don't frequent those places, right? Well, this bitch apparently didn't see the shark at first.
Wrong.
Turned to the side.
Wrong.
The shark grabbed her arm, and she lost this whole part of her arm.
Whoa.
I was like, yep, a shark will bite your arm off. That's for sure.
That is for fucking certain.
If it's one thing I know.
If there's one thing I know about
will remove
sharks,
your body parts.
is they have no qualms with this, with mash. We will both mash you.
I was like, I don't know if that shark ended up eating her arm or if it was just like floating around the ocean.
Dude, that's fucked up. Like, it was like, oh, I don't even like this. And you're just like, that's my arm. What the fuck, dude?
Like, I can't even have my arm back.
Like, that is a real fucked up thought. Like, if you're in there, right, and you're just floating around doing your thing, shark's not even looking for you. Like, dude, like on his mind literally is, I hope the next thing I bite isn't a human, right? So you're just sitting there floating, looking all attractive in the silhouette of the light, right? This fucking shark's going around, doom, 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 doom. He hasn't eaten all day, right? And somehow in his head also Jaws plays, right? Can you imagine if sharks are like, doom, 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 doom.
That's what I always imagine they do.
Not in their head, but they're actually like, if animals can actually speak, right? And sharks are down there like with their mouths moving, dum 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 dum.
That's
dum,
some other
dum,
Peter Griffin shit.
And right, so he looks up, he's like, oh, word, meal, right? And he goes and he grabs like a good bite of it. He's like, oh, this is gonna be delicious, right? So you're up there, human, right? Two different perspectives, floating away, right? So as he's biting and he's super happy about taking a bite of something. You're up there and you're like, oh shit, something took a bite of me, right? So you're looking and your legs floating away, right? And this fucking shark's down there like fucking like a dog with a chew toy and shit, right? Just going at it, and he's like, you look down there, right? And somehow you're just this calm through the blood, you can see it, right? I don't know how this would work, but I'm assuming it would be funny to see. So like you're looking and you're just like, you see the shark just literally like, and just floating away, and you're just like, my arm, dude. Like, what do? You go after it, or what if the shark gets mistaken again and takes your other arm?
What if you're like, oh, this water is pretty cold. That might be all right still. It's like ice water.
Dude, that's a fucked up thought.
It would have to be a dark twist, but they should do a Jaws from the perspective of the shark.
Like, put a GoPro on a shark?
They just see like
they do that all the time. It's called Planet Earth. Like, literally, there's so many sharks roaming around with GoPros. We could just form a fucking movie.
I mean, look, you were talking about the two different perspectives. So Jaws, you're the people, right? Now,
no, this shark doesn't even remember he took your arm off. He just goes on and tries to get another.
Be over in 30 seconds. Like, bye.
The real Jaws only lasted 30 fucking seconds for real. Like in the beginning credits, it's like featuring Jaws, and as Jaws bites it, featured Jaws. It just goes.
This is what throws me off about those shark attacks. Though I'm like, okay, the shark was in a coral reef, mind you. It's a very lively.
It's his crib, yo.
It's a very no. It's not supposed to be there.
I mean, he can go there. Who's gonna tell a shark not to go there?
But it's not like
it's like Debo.
It's like a rare thing.
When he leaves, I'll be talking again.
In those areas, you know. So, but coral reef is a very alive general section.
Well,
of the
not
ocean.
with the fucking way fucking humans are destroying all of them.
Well, true. Well, why are these sharks attacking the people in the coral reefs and not the other fish that are in the coral reef?
Because they ain't looking for little meals.
These motherfuckers.
Sharks don't eat plankton or small like fucking. I'm assuming if they get in there, they're gonna chew them.
Hey, thank God the megalodon is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, you think so? We just had this conversation like 2 episodes ago. You don't know that.
This is true.
That megalodon literally could be as like thoughtful as a human being, just chilling down there like this. Man,
we'll let these little punk ass great whites think they run things from it.
Dude, you see when there's these big sharks that have come up like washed ashore with huge bites in them. Who's biting these sharks? Megalodon.
Maybe.
Other sharks?
Megalodon.
Dude, that'd be fucked up. Dude, I didn't know you were a shark. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's just as
dude, I'm you.
It's just as fucked up as great whites attacking gray whales and shit when they're trying to migrate. Like, It happens.
Great. You mean the
Oh, I'm sorry. The
killer whales?
Yeah.
No, that's not how that works. They attack them, but the killer whales are like
No.
the only ones that can kill great whites, pretty much. In the
killer
ocean.
whales still gang bang anyway. If
Yeah, but I'm talking about one-on-one. A killer whale literally can immobilize a great white, and they drown them and then they eat them. Or they don't eat them. They like eat their heart and like kidneys and dude, they're fucking like savages.
killer whales are really thugs.
Dude, they look so cute. Free Willy had us thinking like they'll fucking let you pet them and shit. Like, dude, I want a killer whale.
You had me all mad at fucking what's that
Go Willy!
What's that?
Dude, you named the
like
whale
water
Willy.
fucking show that they do.
You named the
Yeah,
weird shit, man.
I get you.
But yo, all those like it's funny, but like yo, dude, who decided to make? It's funny, like Jaws was like, yo, Jaws is gonna be like super like horror, and we're gonna depict this shark as a killer, like, and then they made Free Willy, and everybody's like, yo, I want to kill a whale. It looks snuggly and shit.
Is you cannot train a shark, a great white shark, to be like, but you can take.
All right, we're gonna have the shark jump over him now.
But you can do that with killer whales.
The shark jumps, grabs him, like, oh, we need another kid.
That's the difference. Is killer whales are mammals technically, right? So they're very smart. Well, sharks are just like food. That's
what dun 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 dun. Dude, I think if I put like a shark's voice in my head, I feel like it would sound something like, "We're gonna get these guys."
You're gonna sound like a clown.
A clown mixed with like Elmer Fudd and like
you did the clown, and then you had like the Twister. Or Sweet Tooth, I'm sorry. Sweet Tooth laugh.
Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
All right, I think we've spent enough episodes on the ocean.
Dude, it's funny, like the different kind of laughs people have, right? And some laughs can like make you laugh more, or some people would like, dude. There's people who with laughs you're just like, dude, I hate you. I hate your laugh. You suck. Yeah. But like. They're normal, good people usually, but when they laugh, you're like, dude, this is like when you're depicting joy, like, and I hate you for it. Like, how do I feel about myself?
Don't be joyous.
How should I feel about myself? Like, if I hate the way you feel when you're like, when you laugh and it's annoying, but it's like you being happy. What kind of human being am I that I just get mad at you for being happy? Learn to laugh a little less fucked up.
Laugh better, stupid.
But funny laughs are funny, like
Kawhi.
Kawhi's laugh is scary because it seemed like it was like somebody was asleep at the wheel, like in the machine, and they forgot to press the buttons at the same time as voice. So it was like
You know, in Pineapple Express, when he's first like he's watching TV and Dale comes to ring the doorbell, he's like
Dude, why did he go inside? When Duke came in, he went to his room and put deodorant on and a new shirt. I thought hurricane season was over.
I was pretty sure that he was a little funny.
Dude,
I'm telling you, James Franco has played some.
James Franco is a little suspect sometimes.
Very much.
Yo, probably one of my favorite scenes in Pineapple Express is when he's on the fucking swing eating the cheeseburger crying. That cheeseburger looked fucking delicious, dude.
It did. It was a big-ass burger.
You ever had an In-N-Out burger?
Yes.
When'd you have an In-N-Out burger? From where?
It was either Arizona or Texas, one of those two places.
Oh, they got it out there?
I think it was Arizona.
Didn't know that. Never been to Arizona. Haven't been to Texas in my adult life. Don't intend to.
Well,
maybe I should.
I
actually.
guess we probably could have went back to this when we were talking about jail people, but ASAP Rocky
jail people.
Yeah, jail bound people.
Oh. Well, he's not going to serve any time.
Yeah, but he got convicted of a misdemeanor assault charge in Sweden.
Yeah, but
I mean, come on. Like, there's footage everywhere. Sweden, you're fucking up.
Yeah, they're not. You're gonna miss out on a lot of money, a lot of revenue.
Yep.
But that's
you
just
canceled every
fault.
rep performance that was.
Yeah, dude. Nobody's gonna come out there like, dude, I'm not gonna get attacked, beat somebody's ass, and then go to jail for fucking 2 weeks.
You know what you just did? You just provoked your citizens to attack any outside performers.
Hell yeah. And then they get clout because that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh. That's when we're talking about like speaking of clout. Like, and if you guys are familiar with the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which they're making a sequel of, actually, during the movie, like, it seems like it's right around the time of the inception of like social media, And I forget, like, they don't use any specific sites or anything like that. But when they find out about the internet and the people that are, like, they're trying to make a movie and people are hating on them, and, like, who the fuck are these people? Like he literally wants to respond back, and they're like, you can't do that, right? And so these are, like, the trolls of today and the clout chasers of today back then. And then towards the end of the movie, when they finally get money, right, they're able to find, like, they can address the haters. They got a long list of them, and they're just going to each of their houses and just fucking them up. It's real funny to me, man. Like, that's what, like, it'd be really hilarious if, like, you know, I don't know, you know, we're not famous, but, like, if somebody were to be famous, right, and, like, they're, you know, they got the time. Like, today I got time, cuz. Like,
and it all goes back to Family Guy. Remember, I forgot who he was watching on TV, but he was really mad about something that he did. It's Stewie, right? So he has the whole montage of him going to the airport, going to the dude's house. He's like, that's not funny.
Like, dude, I mean, it's like you can't do it because, you know, everybody's going to be fucking saying what they want, right?
Right.
You got to ignore a lot. I mean, we don't have to deal with that. We're not on no scale of like that, luckily and unluckily. Luckily and unluckily.
Comes with the territory when you are there. So
right, but it comes with it, right? So you're going to naturally get people who like you, people who hate you. It seems like the majority are the ones who like you, but you are the ones that are haters stand out because of how their willingness to go out of their way to be mean and, you know, maybe a little bit you know, out of bounds and shit like that. So, like, you see that, but, like, how do you deal with that? Like, if you're somebody who's sensitive, right? Like, I think I would just, like, I would just respond. I'd be Kevin Durant with it. Like, I got time, bitch.
Be on some Chance the Rapper shit and start getting all super sensitive about it.
I'm not gonna be on Chance the Rapper shit because, like, dude, nobody wants to hear his music. Anyway, all right. If you're a Chance fan, you know, to each his own. But, like, dude makes some really popcorn music.
I like Chance as, like, a person, but I just don't know why he takes.
I feel like
when
I feel like the way I feel about a Chance the Rapper album is the way I feel when I hear the ice cream truck rolling down my street. Like, oh, ice cream, right?
It's too far.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not gonna listen to it, but, like, oh, that's a pleasant sound, right? Like, you never feel like, oh, like, I guess you can listen to a Chance album and get angry. Right? But only because you're like, dude, this is too fucking positive. I'm sorry, but, like, I need to hear a little bit of negativity in this music. Like, stop talking about how to make, like, fucking.
I will say that's what they did with Lupe at first. Like,
no, but
and then, like, but Lupe is a
Lupe never
animal.
went this route. Lupe, like, even though he became more conscious, never was like there's a different like, whatever it is that, like,
the difference is Lupe's pen is much more.
Oh yeah, it's definitely sharper
potent.
than
Yeah.
Something chances this. Maybe he needs to be on drugs, like an acid rap. Like, I know we've been, and I'm not wishing drugs on anybody. I'm just saying maybe the reason he made such good music there back then, or so it seems, is that he was in his creative, you know, his creative mind state that, you know, some people need to be in. Like, there's a reason music in the 70s and the 60s was like, and 80s, you know, all eras, but every era had their own
epidemic of drugs.
You know, yeah, whatever it is, they're the drug of choice for that decade, and it seemed like that's kind of how it's always played out. Like, per decade, you get something different. Yeah. But, like, dude, people were on psychedelics, dropping acid, and, like, taking fucking all sorts of shit, making music. That's why it sounds like. That's why the music sounds like fucking just somebody on drugs just made shit. Like, oh, that's awesome. But, like, I think I don't know if you can argue that these people that back in the day when they made this music, if how they were on drugs and whatnot. If the music that they make now, or if they would have made that music back then sober, would we have had the same effect? And I argue probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
You know, so it's not like, oh, you should do drugs. It's like maybe sometimes for that person,
and creativity have gone together forever.
That's it. Maybe for that particular person or persons, like the ability to, you know, to unlock some sort of creative mind state while you're on a drug, but I mean, is what creates a good product that you had unintentionally, you know, like, you didn't go in it with, like, the drugs are going to make this more better than it would have been if I was.
Although that's not alive, that is what you're saying. I mean, that's why you got your Jimi Hendrix and your fucking.
Oh, I know, but I'm not. Some people probably do, like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make this song. But I don't think some people go into it like chances in, like, oh, my music's gonna be different now because I don't do drugs.
No. Although that's what happened to Eminem. So
I told you, I argue that M's music when he's on drugs is obviously better than it is when it's off.
Yeah.
And that's, again, not an
But we're beating
advocate.
this horse to death
That's
already.
not me saying doing drugs. I just don't want to say that. Like, I don't want to say you should do drugs. I'm just
do
saying
drugs if you feel like doing drugs. I'm not your
creativity
parent,
and drugs
you know?
help. Like,
Yeah.
there's not all drugs. Don't do crack.
There's a reason why I have no children. because
Don't
I
do
would tell
crack.
them,
Don't
hey,
do hair. Don't do
whatever
all
you feel
those
like.
things. But, like, you know, like, you could experiment. There's some cool psychedelics and fucking, you know, weed always is like a fucking, like,
God put this here.
me and you know?
Management.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, well, that's the thing about like the chances of the world. Like, that's Lupe was never on that. Lupe came in and pretty much stayed consistent. Got maybe a little bit more conscious, but like he's always been able
like
to
against
spit.
the machine type of thing too.
Yeah. Chance is part of the machine, right?
Yeah.
And that's the way. I guess that's part of it too. Like playing the game in a specific manner.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I don't know, but whatever. I don't even know how we got to that point.
Yeah, we've been rolling through some topics today.
We have. There was something else.
If you guys like this, like where we don't stay on a topic long, or if you don't, I don't know. Whatever. Just listen.
Do you care at all to talk about the whole Jay deal with NFL or anything like that?
All I'll say is like, because I mean, we don't know too much just yet. I mean, Jay's got a plan most of the time. I think he's earned our trust in terms of like until he's lost it.
Yeah.
I think he may. I don't know. I don't know what comes from him being an owner. Maybe his influence in that boardroom, as little as it probably is, because those guys in that boardroom are just rich white men that, let's be honest, don't care about a super rich black man, no matter how influential and wealthy he is.
But
$1 billion is nothing to billionaires. Like when you got $1 billion, that's not 10 billion. That's not 15 billion.
Here shutting down like Super Bowl performances, and I'm sure there's a lot of revenue in those. So that's probably
so. This is the NFL understanding the benefit of having Jay-Z as a partner as well.
Yeah.
Right, because he supposedly unlocks the door to those who have shut their window to the NFL. Those white, black, or otherwise, those who don't care for the NFL because of how they treat people or how their business goings are. Right.
Yeah.
And that may be on other two scales. That could be like minorities who don't care that it's just a bunch of white men treating minorities in a specific way, or the white people don't like that the NFL is now trying to cater to the black man or minority. And like I only say black man because it's like that's the more majority
part of the
of it,
issue,
right? And so I think that it's if done correctly, there's some good to be had here.
Oh yeah.
People have to remain open-minded. They can't shut this out just because Jay-Z is the cultural like almost leader or icon, right? Like you look to Jay to make the decisions right that are proper and for the creators and the culture and to put progress with it, correct?
Yeah.
So or to bring progress to it. I don't know that you can just doubt him right off the bat with this. He hasn't given us reason to doubt him before.
No.
Right? So I think you have to allow him. If he starts to make suspect decisions, if it seems to be more of a money grab for him than a way to open the door to change in the NFL, then that's a whole other thing.
One thing with Jay is
because I'll say if this was like, oh, Jay partnered with NFL, NBA, he's going to be NBA league again. Like there was never no question. Remember when he was going to be Brooklyn's owner?
Well,
this wasn't even a thought,
One thing with Jay that has always been true is like, yeah, he's a businessman, but he always finds a way to make it work mutually. So yeah, he probably will make money off this deal, but he'll also be able to affect change from the inside. Like, and I don't know why people are so opposed to it. I mean, think about the demographic of players you have, and mind you, like this is it's really a black issue. That's what it started as. So you have all these players in the league who don't have any real representation in the front office, right? And at the top of and maybe they look at Jay like, okay, well, why are you the person of choice for this? But I mean, his ability to affect change has been proven,
and his ability to walk into most boardrooms seemingly and get respect from no matter who you are.
Yeah.
What background. So it may be his ability to do these things, right? Like he has all the makings of somebody that if we're going to pick someone, probably is the one that you want to have going there. I mean, and if there's somebody else then that's escaping me, I mean, I'm sure there's other suitable people, but I think Jay-Z being the chameleon that he is, in business and otherwise, makes him a person that is probably one of the better choices, right? And his relationship with Robert Kraft, right? Even though we can all agree that Robert Kraft is probably attached, his strategy is the same as Jay's strategy is, right? Nobody's being led. I think if any of these parties think that the other one isn't looking for personal gain, then more so than the other side of
signed a deal,
right? They got to be all mindful of that. Right. So Kraft is probably thinking the same thing Jay's thinking, but as long as it's, I think a good businessman, right, is going to be like, this is equally, we're going to both make the money we want to make off of this, then let's do it. Now, it may not be because they want the change to be, the change is going to be it's unintended on one side and intended on Jay's side, correct?
Right.
But it's going to be the thing that they can't help but have happen in the making of the money that they're going to. Because it's always about the bottom dollar, I think.
Right, for sure. Of course. I think most of the outrage that I've seen about it is the exclusion of Cap in this deal.
Yeah.
And
I'm curious to see where this lies.
From there was one quote that Jay gave about it, and he's basically saying that he's not Cap's boss. If he wants to be a part of it, that's his decision. He's definitely on board to have him part of it. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like just don't go judging too crazy about this yet. Wait for the details to come out, see what happens.
Listen, don't go chasing waterfalls.
That's what we do.
Please stick to the rivers
and
the lakes that you're used to. I know that you're gonna. I always mix that and what's the Weird Al Yankovic song? I can't remember. Either way, I always hate when there's spoofs of songs that I also know, so then I always mix Gangster Paradise and Amish Paradise.
A local boy kicked me in the butt last week.
I just smiled at him and I turned the other cheek. I really don't care. In fact, I wish him well. Because I'll be laughing my head off when he's burning in hell. Dude, that's what Amish people think.
What's fucked up is if that
Amish people are evil.
If that Weird Al CD came out today. If that Weird Al CD came out
dude,
today,
even if you're hold on, Amish people can't even listen to this.
You don't even have electronics.
Them fools ain't even got no TV in their house, Jack.
This guy's a phony. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks, man.
I think we gave you 2 hours last week, and I think we're good here.
I don't know how do we see the time.
I'm not quite sure.
How do we see the time?
I think we're pretty much at that hour mark.
All right. Well, I say that we can give them this. This is what you get this week. A bunch of random topics. Hope you enjoyed them.
I mean, we talked about some stuff, but we just didn't talk about it.
A shark ate me. A fucking shark ate me.
Which was the title 2 weeks ago. So
yeah, but sharks will eat you regardless of what week you talk about them, so it doesn't matter.
This is true.
They'll
eat you anytime they want.
Yeah. Oh, just be mindful that sharks ain't trying to attack you as much as see what you are.
But if you're in there, they'll probably eat you. So just be careful.
Yeah. They'll take your arm, even though they don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, they might not want it. Be less enticing. Do you think they go after heavier people first? Are they more inclined to get attacked by a shark?
Can fat people float?
I know skinny people who can't float. Our pops can't float.
Oh yeah, he definitely can't float. Or does being, and I don't know how. I don't want this to be an insensitive conversation, but does being fat give you extra buoyancy in the water?
I don't think so. It's probably the opposite. But
that's what I'm saying. So do you drop down? Is it easier for the sharks? Maybe not even eat you because you're not even in the silhouette. You're just floating past them as you sink to the bottom.
The ocean is a very salty body of water, so you're easier to float there than.
So what I'm asking is, in an ocean where sharks be, right? I'm not thinking about Lake Michigan. Does a fat person have extra buoyancy?
I don't think they have extra buoyancy, but I think they're more inclined to float than otherwise.
Can a shark take a bite of a bigger person?
Yeah. There are 20-foot fucking great whites out there. Yes.
Okay, and then you ask me if the megalodon exists. Listen, if you're 15 feet or above, if you're a shark that's my size or bigger, you're a megalodon. Because you can eat me.
It's not even true.
It is true.
It's just a big shark.
Okay? Say that to the shark that's your size right next to you in the water. It's a megalodon to you at that point.
Yes, but it's still not.
There's a fucking megalodon down there, dude. It's like a little carp.
That's just not how it works. Anyway, thank
Something
you.
touched my foot. Something touched my foot.
Thank you for tuning in to the 55th episode. There's there's so many amendments.
There's not 55 though.
Figgity 5.
He said on the ring of the glass. It's pretty funny shit.
There should be 55 at this point, by the way.
I don't know. At that point, like how many? What can you and can't you do at this point? Like,
well,
all right, we're just
literally, there's amendments that like are canceling out
there's
previous
so many
amendments. There are amendments that cancel out other amendments, and it's stupid. Just get rid of those amendments. We're gonna call it. So thank y'all for tuning in. For Stacks, who can not speak for himself, mostly because he's asleep,
and he's a dog,
and does not have words.
Dum 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 dum.
For
I'm gonna eat this guy.
And my brother, we will catch y'all for 56. Oh, by the way, we now have a Facebook page for the Kiona Kasson podcast.
Check us out on social media, please. Yeah. We got a Twitter as well.
Of course.
We got a Twitter Kiona Kasson page.
And now when you go to YouTube, I put the links for the Twitter and for the Instagram on there.
Also got Instagram. Kiona Kasson podcast.
Yeah.
You can check us out.
Yeah.
Do that thing.
We can holler at y'all on some other time.
And if it ain't this time, it's another time. And I don't know if you're going to be there.
After that.
He's like, dude, I don't even know if you're going to be there anymore.
See you there. See you on some other time.